Hello, and this is Caro MacKay. This is Propeller's producer. Hello, Caro. Could you just introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Caro MacKay. I'm the executive producer for Propeller.
And could you please just tell us a little about your role in Propeller and how you go about your job?
What's my job?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got two sides to the job, as it were. My key side is to raise money. So that's an administrative, financial side. And the other side is artistic. It's, Propeller is Edward Hall. I work with Edward because I love the work he does. He likes the way I operate. So artistically, hopefully, we're in sync. And that's really, really important, especially with Propeller when we're such a tiny team.
Indeed.
So there are those two areas, and I raise money from the Arts Council of England, who now give us a grant and have stabilised us for 3 years. We have income from the theatres that we perform in, and we have overseas income, where they give us a fee for performing there. And we have a corporate sponsor who is Coots, and they are vital to us, all those stakeholders. The proper word is stakeholders. And my other stakeholder group, the most valuable, is my company of actors and of technicians and sound designers such as David and Ben and lighting. And those are the people, that is the group. I begin to build a tour. You know when your rehearsals are, you talk with your director, Ed, and see how long you can afford to rehearse for. Coots, for instance, make it possible for us to have a 5th week. That's very tangible sign of how one uses money. And then how long we want to perform the first production for before we go back into the rehearsal room for the second. We want to have both shows up and running by January so that they can tour in tandem, and then we're ready. I aim to have at least 9 foreign weeks who each contribute to the amortization of the costs, and that means they put in a bit of a fee that goes towards the cost of doing the second production. So everybody is giving to the cost of doing the 2 shows. That's how I cover it. Way back, well, say now, we've been working on the next 2 shows. We started working seriously on them from April, and we'll go into rehearsal in September. I started booking them a year ago. We're now got a good performance schedule that is a mixture of home and abroad. And right at this present, Michael is starting to look at the design, and I've had those meetings with him and seen what's come up. Edward has had his meetings with them. Those designs are now in the workshop. So the work is happening quite far in advance to where you might think. There's a lot of planning that goes in all of it. And I don't have any influence on how Michael and Edward put this wonderful box of tricks together that becomes the set for the shows. I, facilitate it so that we can have the money to do it. I do, unfortunately, have to go in and say, we can't afford to do that. I'm really sorry, so that's a downside. But if you think of yourself as a facilitator, that's really good. And then you're facilitating the whole way through with your company, looking after your company. Logistics are a huge part of the job, so you've got to be pretty pragmatic. Sea freight. How many sets are you going to need to do the schedule that you've booked? For instance, the tour that we've just done, which included Henry, needed 3. 1 built in Australia, 2 built in England, 1 of which stayed in England, but the 3rd one went to New Zealand and then on to China. What are the sailing dates? Is it all going to work out? Insurance. loads of things. It's a fantastic job. I really, really love it, and it's a wonderful mixture of marrying being an artist with a administrator and caring and being a part of a group and a company. So I'm going to draw breath now.
If I could ask you as a closer, if you could give anyone young that's aspiring to be a producer out there, if you could give them 2 pieces of advice, what would they be?
I think the first thing is, and I know it's not always the case, but the best thing is to really want to do the piece of work that you're going to produce. You want to do the play. You want to work with that director. You want to work with that company. If you have that, you've gone so far. You've already got great will in your heart to make it happen. Secondly, a bit of a cheat here. You've got to combine how am I going to raise the money with all your contacts that you know. Right. Treat your contacts in England and abroad as colleagues. You know, I cannot tell you how hard they have to work to host you. Treat them as colleagues.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you
My
very much,
pleasure.
Caro. Cheers. Thank you.